Good evening, everyone. I am Sandy Lu Guerrero of Life Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach, here with my friend Hazel Ortega of Ortega Counseling Center. I'm really excited to have her here today. Yay! Finally, we were able. She's a very, very, very busy woman, so it's definitely a privilege and an honor to have her make some time in her calendar, in her day, to be able to join us today. So if you are getting on, hello Rosa Calderon, hello. If you are just joining us, please remember to share. You definitely want to hear this very inspiring story of Hazel Ortega. She is a phenomenal woman, and as oh no. All right, we're back. I know we're having like something Wi-Fi issues. Anyway, hello Sebastian. Hello Paulina.
Interesting.
Hi. And so we're back and forth with the Wi-Fi for some reason, but just stay on whatever you do, and if for any reason we just don't come back, just make sure we'll log right back in. So keep that in mind. Hello Paul, hello Veronica, hello everyone. If you just joined, please remember to share. You're watching Sandy Lu Guerrero of Life Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach, and my show, Transform Your Life with Sandy Lu and Friends, with Hazel Ortega of Ortega Counseling Center. Say hi, Hazel. Hi.
Hi, Dora.
Hi, Dora.
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin. Oh, I love it. I love the support. Family support is priceless, and friends too. Veronica, I've known her for a very long time. She's a family friend, and she lives in Victorville. She's a teacher, and she's teaching her first Spanish class this year in elementary school, I think it is. So
very
congratulations.
cool.
So thank you for educating the children of the future. Very important
Gotta
job.
have bilingual kids out there.
Yes. Hello, Johanna. Hello, everyone. So if you just got on, please remember to share. You definitely want to share this particular interview. Hazel is amazing. I've known her for a very short period of time, and earlier we were having a conversation, just doing like a pre-interview. We want to make sure we're prepared for your, to bring you some content that's going to support you in transforming your life, in transforming your loved one's life. So please remember to share, because that's a video, a story, a comment, a sentence could make all the difference in a person's life. You never know when you're going to hear exactly what you needed to hear to alter the course of your life. And sometimes I really think that we're one sentence away from making a huge impact in someone's life. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you do a lot of self-development and transformational work yourself, so I'm sure that you've had those one sentence that you're like, oh my gosh, like
it changes your life in a nanosecond.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm really looking forward to speaking more about that, but I'm really excited that you're here. And what I'm going to do here, for those of you that have never watched, because I see even more new faces. Hello, Erica. Hello, Callie. Is that I'm going to log into my tablet. That way I can see everybody's comments. So if you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to share, and we will do our best to answer those comments and questions. And remember, again, you want to definitely share. You don't want to miss out. You want your family to hear stories that are inspiring and empowering and motivating. And this woman is phenomenal, and then she's super humble. So that makes it even more beautiful. Because she's super humble. And so I'm going to go ahead and log in here real quick so we can. That makes her even more beautiful. See? All right, so
we're set.
We're set. And so,
excuse me.
So anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Sandy Lu Guerrero of Life Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. And today my guest is Hazel Ortega of Ortega Counseling. Hazel Ortega is a woman, actually she's the owner of Ortega Counseling Center, the #1 counseling center in California. Is that it? In California. And so that says a lot about her ambition, her commitment, her perseverance. I mean, you name it, right? So Hazel Ortega was born. She was born here now in California. Yeah. Her family's from Tijuana, Mexico, and she was raised in downtown LA, rough neighborhood, very rough neighborhood. In fact, she didn't get to go out much because her parents were strict. They wanted to keep her away from the streets and from not getting pregnant and stuff like that. And but it was a very hardcore area where there was there was drugs, there was drive-by shootings, there was a lot going on. So the fact that she came from that environment to where she's at now is amazing, and you'll get to hear more about that. But Hazel, I'm going to say a little bit about her, but I want her to say the actual, more of the story, because it's just very inspiring. But she actually, through all of that, she didn't finish high school, but she did eventually she did go to school off and on, and then she eventually got her associate's degree in East LA College. Then she got her bachelor's degree in psychology in Rancho Dominguez, Cal State Rancho Dominguez Hills, and then she ended up getting her master's in educational psychology. Very impressive. And meanwhile, she was a mom of 3 children, and she was a wife, and she was working full-time as a legal secretary, where she had actually became injured. She ended up getting carpal tunnel, and she ended up getting some other, what was it? I know you said
cubital tunnel in my elbows, and then problems with my neck.
Okay, so it affected her work. So if you've ever worked in a legal office, or if you've ever been around a legal office period, you would understand that to be able to type is like very, very important, because it's a lot of typing, right? It's a lot of typing. Like and it's very crucial to the job as an administrator. And you were the office manager, right? You were the office manager. So, and she could tell you more of the story of how she started her business. And not only that, not only does she have this business, not only does she have Ortega Counseling Center, but she also has another business. She has various businesses, one being Savvy Socks, and the other one being one of the trendy new restaurants at the city of Whittier, uptown Whittier, called the Nixon
Chops and
Whiskey. The Nixon Chops and Whiskey. And I'm looking forward to going to visit you there. I know that it was a business name before. Now, like, you have a celebrity chef, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So you guys have to check it out too. If you're watching and you haven't gone yet, let's go. I'll see you guys over there.
I'll be there Friday night.
Yeah, okay. Hey, she said it. I'm going. I'm there. You know where I'll be on Friday. I'll be at the Nixon Chops and Whiskey, and I like whiskey, by the way. I'm a Jack. I like whiskey, so that's why I was asking you earlier, what kind of whiskey. So anyway,
my favorite is old fashioned.
Old fashioned?
Yeah. It's a speakeasy now. It used to be Sata, and now it's a speakeasy. And so, whiskeys is all we're about. We're experts at it.
Very good. Very good. So anyway, I'm going to say hi to a few people that logged on. And if you just joined us again, I'm Sandy Lou Guerrero of Life Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. And you're watching Transform Your Life with Sandy Lou and Friends, with my guest, Hazel Ortega, owner of Ortega Counseling Center and Savvy Socks, and I know there's other stuff, but we're keeping it, and the Nixon Chops and Whiskey, which you definitely gotta go. It's a new trendy restaurant in Whittier. But anyway, hello. Let's say hi to some people over here. And I know you might recognize some of the people that are on. Like somebody put Savvy Socks. All right, Antonio Montes, Cuco, Beatrice, Michelle, Anna, Richard Lucero, Robert Conjali. Hi, Rob, Vianney. Cecilia Herrera,
Susan Martinez.
Hello. Yes. Terry, Sally Estrada, Tony Valenzuela, Gary, Sarah, Cynthia, Maribel. Hello, Maribel. Thank you for the right earlier. Jesse Serrano says Savvy Socks. He says, you know who Jesse Serrano is?
He's my brother.
Oh, yeah, that's Jesse. Hi, Jesse. Hey, recognize the space. Hello, Adrian
that's
Serrano. Oh, your other brother. Hello, other brother. Hi, nice to meet you. So anyways, you're very fortunate to call this woman your sister. So anyway, so let's have you share about you. I know I kind of gave you the gist of your background, but let's talk a little bit more about the story. How did you get to where you're at now? Because where you started and where you're at is just like light years away. And like I said, it's so inspiring, and to me personally, it's more inspiring because you're just so humble. about it, and then you live very passionately, and it's exciting to be around you. So, but you know, let them get to see more about you and where you came from.
Yeah, I got that.
You know, so you start wherever you feel you want to start sharing.
Well, I can't really start my story without telling, like, you know, the crazy neighborhood that I grew up with in, like you mentioned, downtown LA. I don't know if any of you are familiar where Belmont High School is, but that's about the neighborhood where I grew up with my 4 other sisters. So there was 5 of us in the house in an 800 square foot apartment, just a little bit bigger than this space that we're in right now. And it was mom and stepdad and my sisters, and the neighborhood was really tough, and my mom had a full-time job having to take care of 5 girls and keep them safe. Pregnancy was really rampant in our neighborhood. You know, girls were getting pregnant at 15 years old. Instead of quinceañeras, they're having baby showers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so my mom was really concerned about that, and so she made sure that her daughters, you know, were at school and then back home, and then that's it. And so, well, you know, when you're young, you want to have fun and you want to hang out with your friends. And so we found a way around that. And, you know, I missed a lot of school because of that. And I got in trouble a lot. And my sister and I, my older sister, Claudia, we're Mexican twins. We're both born in the same year, January and December of 1971.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we hung out together all the time, but we also got in trouble together all the time. And got moved schools. I went to 4 different high schools. I went to Belmont, Chatsworth, Lincoln, and Franklin High School.
Wow. Is it because you moved, or it was just because you were getting in trouble?
Because my mom saw that we were getting in trouble, so she would change our school. And as soon as she would see, like, oh, no, you know, this is wrong, I ran away from home, she changed my school. My older sister started dating somebody that she didn't approve of, who, you know, she thought my sister could, you know, potentially ruin her future. She changed our school again. So, but the whole time she was doing all of this for us, but we didn't like that. We hated that. We were so mad at her. You know, she was standing in the way of all our fun.
And when you're young, we know everything. Right?
For sure, yeah. And parents are, you know, the interrupters of our great time. Excuse me. So anyhow, I ended up missing a lot of school because I didn't have any time to have fun outside of school. So I ended up ditching school a lot. And I didn't finish school. I was the first one in my family not to finish high school. And that was pretty devastating for my family because that was really important. Like, you come to the United States, you know, to raise your children, to be successful. You want them to have a better life. And so having a high school education was really important. Not necessarily college. My mom didn't really talk about college. She talked about finishing high school, being prepared in that way, and then, like, getting married. Like, that was her dream, was for us to all leave the apartment building in a white dress and virgins. Like, that was her, like, I did a good job. And she did everything that she could. She did a great job, you know, trying to take care of us. And I really think she did. You know, all of us are really strong women. And even, I have 2 young brothers, and they're watching, and they're really strong too. And really people that she would be very proud of. Anyhow, so then I didn't finish high school. And I ended up getting a job as a secretary at an attorney's office. I didn't know what to, like, I didn't know how to do the job. I stapled my thumb on the first day. I was bleeding. I mean, the attorney was perplexed. Like, how could you injure yourself on the first day? I had no skills. My mom didn't teach me anything. I got lucky because my cousin Dora, who's watching, she was a bank teller. And the attorney offered her the job, and she told me, come with me to the job interview. I think the attorney, you know, could have, you know, the hots for me, and I want you to be there to make sure I'm safe. And so I went with her to the interview, and so she didn't take the job because certainly the attorney was giving her the eyes. And so she told the attorney, I won't take the job, but I'm happy at the bank, but my cousin Hazel, she'll take the job. And he said, okay. Yeah, and I worked for him for 7 years as a secretary, and I learned a lot, and he became a mentor. It was a really good job to have. But you know, during that time, he started not paying his bills on time. He owed a lot of money to the IRS, and he started paying my paychecks late. And so I started looking for another job, and I ended up interviewing at a very big, prestigious workers' compensation law firm. And again, I got that job because my cousin Dora was working there. I think I owe a lot to this girl.
Dora. Let's hang out.
I know. So I went there, and I was interviewed by a Mexican attorney. And that's the first time that I had seen a professional that was a Mexican person. Like usually they're the janitors, they're the cooks, they're the waiters. You know, I was really stunned. And he interviewed me, and he read in my resume that I was from Highland Park. I went to school to Franklin, and he lived in Highland Park. I was like, this man is very cool. And so I said no. And then he asked me, you're in college, right? And I said, yes. I was not in college. I didn't even have a high school diploma. And education was not that important to me. Actually, I didn't think I needed it. I was getting a pretty good paycheck. I had my own apartment. I was having a lot of fun. And, you know, I was feeling pretty good about myself. But I did say yes, and he hired me. It was the best job I've ever had. I love that man. He became a mentor as well, and I started working for him. And shortly after I started working for him, he asked me what classes I was taking and what I was learning. And so I quickly went back to school, and I enrolled in classes when I didn't even have a high school diploma. I went to ELAC, and East LA College would take students when they didn't have a high school diploma.
Oh wow! And did you end up getting your high school diploma?
Yes, I ended up getting my high school diploma. I ended up flunking out all my high school credits, and I did want to have a high school diploma. So I went to night school, and I went to summer school and weekend school at the high school, and I earned a lot of credits back. And so when I went to college, I had to take a couple of English classes, and then that took the place of the classes in high school that I was missing. And you're going to love this. I didn't get my high school diploma until I was 30 years old.
I love it.
In high school, I had a counselor who would always check up on me, make sure that I was having the right schedule. You know, if I didn't make it to my first period class, he changed my first period so I can get to school later. And it wouldn't impact me negatively, like I had a fail. You know, he wanted me to have a chance. And later I found out that he was a truancy counselor. I had no idea. I thought he was just a regular counselor. Very nice. So I kept in touch with him when I graduated from high school, and I told him, okay, now I took this class. And then he would tell me, okay, now you have to take these other classes. And the whole, 10 years after high school, he knew what classes I was taking. So finally I said, okay, I finished these classes at ELAC. I got my AA degree. I'm coming for my high school diploma. I earned it. So he told me, okay, come, but I'm not going to be there. But come to the front desk and somebody will give it to you. So I get there, and I say, I'm Hazel. I get to Franklin High School, and I to the attendance office, and I say, my name is Hazel Ortega, and I'm here to pick up my high school diploma. And they're like, okay. And the people leave from the office, and then 20 people come out, and they have a little party for me. Mm-hmm. They were so happy and celebrated with me that I came back from my high school diploma.
Oh my gosh.
And they told me that my counselor had already retired, but that he knew that I was coming back for my diploma, and he kept it in his drawer. Yeah, after I was 30 years old when I went to go pick it up.
Oh
he had it
gosh.
the whole time until he retired.
Wow, that's awesome. It says a lot about, well, when is, I think that he saw your commitment to finishing, your commitment to making it happen regardless, whatever you were experiencing and the challenge that you might have, that he saw your commitment. So those of you who are thinking of going back to school or who have reservations about doing something because of your age, it's never too late. it really is never too late. And I thank you for sharing that, because I think that, you know, I've caught myself in that moment where I'm like, oh, I'm too old. You know, before I did a lot of transformational work, I would get caught up in, oh, I'm too old for this, or I'm too old for that. And I was not old, and I'm still not old. You know what I mean? But
no, we're young. We're very young.
But, you know, that what happens is society, culturally, the box that we live, you know, we grow up in, sometimes is very limiting, and it takes people like the counselor, it takes people like your mentors and the attorney that you worked in, that help you start looking at things differently and looking at the possibilities. And so that's why it's so important to get out of that box and to explore and do meetups, you know, meet up with different people that you know, do meetups. If you don't know what you want, explore things that you like. If you're into hiking, go hiking with people. If you're into reading, if you're into dancing, you know, go do meetups. I think that's another way that you can start just expanding your way of looking at things and the possibilities, right?
Well, yeah, no, definitely. I remember when I was getting my master's program, my degree, I was hiking with one of my friends, and I already, at this time, I had 3 kids, and they were 8, 10, and 12, and one of my friends was just had 1 son, and we were hiking, and she told me, you inspire me so much, I'm going back to school, because if you could do it with 3 kids and a full-time job, I can do it. And she went to Harvard.
Wow.
So she applied and went to Harvard, and actually, you know, left her life here, took her son with her, he was 12, and got a degree from Harvard.
Wow.
Yeah, so definitely hang around with the people that are doing the things that you want to do. Even though the things you think you can't do them, stick around and see how other people are doing it, and you'll see that it's a lot easier than you think it is.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the reminder of, we're not our stories, we are not our circumstances. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in that we don't see past that. We get caught up in the stories and the circumstances that we don't see what's possible out there. What's available to you? What are the resources that you have? What are the resources that you can get? Who are the people who can support you and help you and all that stuff? So you got to be willing to get uncomfortable and try new things and get out there, no matter how old, no matter what the circumstances, crawling to the next step, whatever you got to do, you know, you got to keep moving forward. And Hazel's story is so inspirational. I think that, I mean, you just shared it with one person that you know of, completely did a 180, you know, 360 and went to Harvard. I can only imagine how many other people you are inspired, because your story is very inspiring. I think that sometimes because we get so caught up in how we grew up and the things that happen to us and the things we don't have and all this stuff, we limit ourselves. And for you to have a full-time job, 3 kids, and go to school, and get this, guys, she was taking like 21 units at a time. So if you went to college, you know what we're talking about. 21 units at a time, full-time job, 9 to 5 as a manager at an attorney's office, and also 3 kids at home, a husband. I mean, that's pretty hardcore. So I'm like embarrassed for any excuse I have. But you know, it's that drive, that commitment, you know. All right, so we're back. And so anyway, go ahead and continue with your story. I'm like, I get so excited. I'm like, I want to make sure that if you are not getting all this amazing, you know, story and what the mindset and the obstacles and everything she's overcome, I want to make sure you're getting it, how important it is. You know what? Let me take a moment to just acknowledge a few people, because you had some people make comments as well, and we want to make sure before it becomes if there's a question and we're like, what are they talking about? Let's see. Hello, Lisette. Hey, Carmen. Miss you today. Hi. Adrian, send these little monitos. These little boys, 3 little boys. Adrian Serrano says, love you, my sis. Great job. Real one. Get paid. Love it. Love it. Liz Garcia, Artemio Caballero, Melissa.
Hey, Liz.
Melissa. Janet Paredes, another leader, another awesome, powerful woman. Leticia Gonzalez. George Figueroa, Diana Barrera, another entrepreneur out there, like making things happen. She has these really cool codes that she's been selling, marketing. You got to check them out.
Show them to me.
So, You'll like them. You'll like them. So let's see. Lupita Mendez, Brenda Soto.
That's my sister.
Oh,
Brenda.
Hello, Brenda.
And my family is supporting me.
She says, looking good, looking good. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Dora says yes. I don't. That's why I want to catch it. I'm like, I don't know when she said yes, but yes, yes to this woman, right? Lupita Mendez says, Hazel, I saw her at home where my dad was at about 10 years ago.
Oh wow, Lupita Mendez.
Lupita Mendez Sandoval.
I'm gonna look you up, Lupita.
All right, she's gonna look you up. Adrian Serrano says, we love you. Great job. True OG, hard worker, dedication, fact. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love all the love from your family. Sergio Herrera, Susan Martinez says, so cool. I wonder who was your truancy counselor.
She was my neighbor. She grew up in my neighborhood, so she knows what it was like. She's a survivor as well. She's a badass.
She is awesome. We got to get her on. Let's see, Bob, Orvie, Elizabeth.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Elizabeth. Yeah, she says, what an inspirational story. She says, Susan Martinez says, you rock, Hazel. Yes, she does. She does. And Lupita Mendez Sandoval says, great job, Hazel. I saw you at the convalescent home on Beverly. I'm about 10 years ago. Hello, Frank Banos. Hello, Michael Juarez, Grace Alfaro, Jennifer Munoz. Lupita Mendez Sandoval says, great job. Oh, let's see, am I repeating that? That's great. My sister-in-law, Jamie, in Vegas. Hey, Jamie, I hope you're all better now. She had the flu. I mean, she had strep throat. Oh. So I hope you're feeling better now. Hello, Susan Martinez says, that's right. Erica Virgen says, thank you, although it's challenging, but not impossible. You're great inspiration. Yes. So she's definitely inspirational. So if you just logged on, I'm Sandy Lou Guerrero of Life's Trades Coaching, your transformational business and life coach. And you're watching Transform Your Life with Sandy Lou and Friends. And I'm here with my friend Hazel Ortega of Ortega Counseling Center. And if you just logged on, make sure you watch it from the beginning, because Hazel already shared part of her story, which is super inspirational. Make sure you share this video. If you just got on, please share. You never know who's going to hear that one thing they needed to hear to alter their course of their life, to take their life onto the next level. So that's what Transform Your Life with Sandy Lou and Friends is all about. It's about giving you content that's going to support you to take your life onto a new level, a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at things, and seeing what's possible and standing in possibility to create whatever it is that your heart truly desires. No living a default life. No. All right, Hilda. Hi, Hilda. Catherine Munoz. Hello. Okay, so let's continue.
That's my other sister, Claudia.
Claudia. Shout out to Union, she says.
That's the street that we grew up on.
Oh, okay.
You gotta.
All right, Claudia.
You gotta call your street.
All right. So anyway, so let's continue with your story. So now you got your high school diploma. I
got my AA
degree. And then what then?
So I went through the motions of getting my AA degree because the attorney that I worked for was very adamant that I had to have education. He was not taking no for an answer. I could not take a semester off. Like, it almost seemed like my job was contingent on me going to college. So finally here I am getting my AA degree. And my highest aspiration for myself and my future was that job that I had. I was really happy because I was making more money than my uncle, who was the highest earner in the family. And really, it wasn't a lot of money. It was not a lot of money, and that's how much money I was making. And I thought, like, I made it. I'm the highest earner now in my family. And so I could see myself in that job forever, being a secretary. And the attorney told me, no, you're going to be a professional ESA. Think about what you want to do. That's how he told me. Yeah. He's a Mexican guy, He's a Chicano.
Right. I love it.
So that's how he talked to me. And he told me to be a professional. And so think about what I want to do. And so I was like, oh my God, now I really, now I'm in trouble. So he told me my wife is a teacher and she thinks that you should be a school psychologist. And since I was a legal secretary in workers' compensation, we helped injured workers. They would call us during the their duration of their workers' comp case, and they have a lot of issues. The insurance company doesn't always pay on time. If they're undocumented, the insurance company a lot of times denies their claims. Then they don't have state disability. They don't have any money. So they're calling and they're about to lose their houses. They're about, they lose their cars. They don't have any money. They lose their families. So anyhow, I found myself being like a psychologist to them. And when he told me school psychologist, it sounded like the right thing to do, because that's what I was already doing, just not getting paid as a psychologist. I didn't have that little piece of paper, but definitely that's what I was doing all day long. I had clients calling in suicidal. It's really tough. And so it made sense to me, and I started taking psychology classes. So, part of my experience is that, the AA degree, the first classes that we take when we go to school, they're the math classes, the science classes, the English classes, kind of like the not so much fun classes. And that's the uphill part of an education, right? The stuff that, like the greenhouse effect and, how do I use all of those things in my day-to-day life? It's boring, it's hard, and you don't want to do it. But if we give ourselves, if we just get over the AA degree, then the top of the mountain, then it goes down. And a lot of people quit on the uphill and not giving themselves the chance to come down and see the other side of that mountain, which is like the best. All the classes are super interesting when you get to your major. Like psychology classes are, abnormal psychology. I started, just having so much fun, assessing people's, degrees of psychosis. It was so much fun. It was a pleasure to go to school. And I started racking up a lot of credits, and I'd go to school 3 nights a week, and then I'd go to school Saturday and on Sunday. So I go on Saturdays from 8 to 5, and on Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m. Yeah, and I got it done. I got my bachelor's degree in a year and a half. At Cal State Dominguez Hills, they have the PACE program, which is the Project for Adult Continuing Education. So it's a weekend college program where you can get your bachelor's degree on Saturday and Sunday only. It's basically for working adults. However, I needed to get through school faster than that because I had 3 kids at the house and a husband, 4 kids, and I needed to do this fast. So that's why I added more units. And in lightning speed, I got my bachelor's degree. And then, then I went on to get my master's degree in educational psychology. And the attorney that I worked for was so fantastic. Basically, the fire that really lit, that got lit is because I was injured on the job as a legal secretary. I got my AA degree, and then the attorney told me to go back to school. And I was right in that spot where I had gotten injured. So he made a lot of sense. I could not do my job anymore. I couldn't be his secretary anymore because of the carpal tunnel, cubital tunnel, and problems with my neck. I actually got injured because I was sitting at a desk for someone who was much smaller than me. And by the time that the desk got ergonomically assessed, it was too late. I already had nerve damage. So for all of you out there that type sitting on your sofa for long periods of time, or at a desk, at a desk job, make sure that you're sitting appropriately and that there's an ergonomic assessment, because unfortunately, by the time you find out, when you have pain, you're going to have surgery, or you're going to have to change your job. And that's pretty devastating. I was in a situation where I had a whole family, and it was really scary, the thought of not having any money, and what was I going to do? If the best that I knew I could be was a secretary and I couldn't do that anymore, it was very scary. So I knew I had to hit the floor running and catch up on my education, because I didn't want to change our lifestyle. I didn't want to have my kids not have, a good future, and the lifestyle that we had, that we could have some fun, go to the movies, go out to dinner, have a nice car, our own home, those types of things that really can go away if you get injured on the job. So I did that, and I knew I couldn't stop. I just had to keep going, and I became a psychologist, and I started working at South Pasadena Unified as a school psychologist. And the first year is a non-paid internship. So I ended up refinancing my house so that I could do my 1 year of non-paid internship, and they treat you like a real job. You know, all the expectations are, you know, as if you're getting paid, and the work is real. You know, you're not an assistant, you're not observing. It's real. So I was working at an elementary school, you know, with the kids, giving therapy, teaching them conflict resolution, and assessments. I became a psychometrician, so I measure IQ for a living. You know, it's not that great when you're dating, though. But yeah,
well, we could talk more about that.
People always ask me like, "What's my IQ?" Men, actually. I'm like, yeah, I was really good at it. Like I could spot IQ, you know, like at hello. Yeah. So anyhow, I ended up working at South Pasadena Unified, and I started a business at the same time, the Ortega Counseling Center. I actually knew a person who was a counselor, a vocational return to work counselor for injured workers, and she would talk to injured workers about different careers that they could go into, and find training for those careers. And this benefit is paid for by the insurance company. So if you're injured on the job and your employer cannot take you back, or they cannot accommodate your disability, by law, the workers' compensation insurance has to pay for education for you. A lot of people don't know that. And so, you know, they don't know, and so they don't take advantage of it, or if they do know, they think it's not for them. I know I thought that education was not for me, you know, until I really saw that I had to do it. There was no other way for me. So she was doing that job. So I said, you know, I'll refinance my house. I'll support you, pay your salary for 3 months until our business gets launched. And I know a lot of attorneys because I was a legal secretary for 17 years. So that's how I got a lot of referrals. And it worked out perfectly exactly that way. And then I'm working as a school psychologist, and I'm getting a lot of phone calls from her. The business was getting really busy. And I started helping out in the business and being less interested in being a school psychologist. You know, and another thing about that, when I was at South Pasadena High School, giving therapy to the kids, I had kids that were cutting, getting drunk at school by dipping tampons into liquor and then inserting them and then becoming drunk on campus. There was a lot of violence on campus, and those kids were sent to me so that I could give them therapy and set them straight. And it was a really hard job because what I realized was a lot of these, it's an affluent area, South Pasadena. The parents are doctors and lawyers and people that are professionals. And so these kids really, when I talked to them, what they were saying was like their parents don't listen to them. Like they're not around. And then they're there, they're busy. They're not paying attention to them. And so the kids are over here at the high school wanting to get attention, getting in trouble, even pretending to faint so that the parents can pay attention. So in my job, in my capacity as a psychologist, I had to write 20-page papers. So I would assess the kids in school during the day, and then at night I had to write those papers because they're not going to get done during the day. So even though I chose a career that was something conducive to raising a family, I wanted to have teacher hours. I wanted to be at work when my kids were at school, and then when they were home, I wanted to be home. That's what I had was a good parent. That's what I wanted. When they were on vacation, I wanted to be on vacation. So, and I did that, and you can have anything you want. I designed it that way, and I got that career exactly. I didn't know the caveat about working, you know, at night at my house on a 20-page paper, and then my kids would come and want to talk to me, and I'd shush them away because I had to write this paper, and it was really, really important because there were assessments, where other children were going to be placed in what classrooms. Anyhow, and I thought, you know what? If I keep doing this, my kids are going to be sitting across another psychologist's desk talking about me not being there for them. And so it made a lot of sense for me to just leave my job and focus on helping other injured workers go back to school and then have, an education and change their lives. And then that's what became of Ortega Counseling Center. So.
And you said you started it like at home. You started your business at home at your home.
Yeah, I started in the garage. I converted my garage, and people donated computers and chairs and tables, and that's how we started the business. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and now we are. We moved from the garage to a 300 square foot satellite office in Uptown Whittier, like a shared space where you share the receptionist. To then I moved to a 700 square foot, and then 900, and then right now we're at 11,000 square feet. We have our own building. It's called Center for Injured Workers, and it's in Uptown Whittier. And we have 26 satellite locations throughout California, so we can help injured workers from San Diego all the way to the border of Canada. And it's really great. We're doing really good work.
Wow, very impressive. I love it. I love it. I hope you guys are being inspired over there, because I know I am. Let's see, Jesse said started from the bottom, now we're here.
I know. He went through all of it with me.
He went with you.
The struggle.
He went with you through the process. And it's just, and I know, like I have, I'm very fortunate to have great friends and family, and it's definitely great to see. Like I tell them, one day we're going to laugh at all this insanity, and everything's going to be, things are going to be different. And, for your family, I know that they saw you hustling, working, not sleeping.
For sure.
I mean, going to school full time and working and all that. You must have been up all day and night, like doing it. And so they're the witnesses of your ambition and your drive and your commitment.
That's the best part, because like we grew up on welfare, and, like them seeing that, me getting educated, they would go to my graduations. The kids would go, and my AA, my BA, my master's, and then one time my brother turned to me and he said, "Am I graduating from this school too?" And he was only 10, and so it was like, oh my God, he's thinking about college, and he's thinking that this is what it's all about changing the trajectory, of our lives. And like I didn't graduate from high school, and if I had kept on with that situation of not having an education, more than likely my own kids would not have an education. Right now I'm currently in a class with my 22-year-old. We're in class together. We're taking an excellence class and being in the zone. It's a personal development class, and they know being around me, it's all about education. It's all about learning, how to be better, how to be a better person, and be a contribution to others, and have a really good life, be a good friend, a good sister, good, just being around, being a positive energy, be better. I think that's what we're here for. We're here to do God's work and be our best selves, so that we can help other people.
Yeah.
We can't help people if we're broke, Yeah. We can't help if we have dramas in our lives. Who are we helping? We're not. We're holding people down with that, So... yeah, definitely education has changed my life. And not just formal education. I take a lot of personal development courses. And then again, I have businesses, and I take a lot of business courses, because a psychology degree is not going to help me be a powerful businesswoman.
Yeah, those are two completely different psychologies.
Exactly, yeah.
The psychology of business is a completely different one.
Yeah. So I take a lot of business development classes. I'm always... everybody that knows me knows I'm in a class all the time. I'm always signing up. I'm always learning. And I always get the fruit of that, the reward of it, of that hard work. Sometimes, I just came back from a retreat just yesterday. I was gone for 4 days, and I had a flu for the 4 days, and I stayed there, and I learned so much, and I came back with even more realization for my life, and my whole 2018 is planned. Trips, and I make up things, and
I know, and you know what? And I think that if you didn't get to hear from the beginning, please make sure that you watch it from the beginning. But she shared how she grew up, where she grew up, growing up in welfare, and now she's traveling all the time. She has various successful businesses, and And she is always learning, and I can tell you this because we are part of a manifesting group, and I'm very privileged to have joined the group because I think you initiated, from my understanding, right? And I'm very privileged to be part of this group. And she's always speaking about something new she learned, and she's always sharing her knowledge and her wisdom, and and sometimes what I see, people are not always as open to share, to motivate, to inspire, to even give feedback, to give guidance. Sometimes we feel like, oh, it's not my place to say, or it's none of my business. But if you see someone's gonna crash into the wall and you don't say nothing, you're partly responsible, because you could have probably done something so that you could have prevented it. At least if you told them, they had the choice. Now they knew what you were. They had a choice, and they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But Hazel's someone that's always, definitely, without a doubt, you have 2 business coaches, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 business coaches, and then you do you're doing the workshops with the other transformational company. I mean, when you're always doing
landmark education.
Landmark education. Yeah. So those of you that are out there, we got to keep developing ourselves. We got to keep developing ourselves.
It's a lifelong process.
Yeah, it is. You know what? And it could be as simple as watch YouTube coaching videos, watch inspirational people, read books, go to meetup groups, take self-development workshops. There's, if you're on a budget, if you don't have money, I mean, there's something for everybody. You just got to be willing to take that step, to be committed to growing and learning and evolving and taking your life to the next level. Because if you're not learning, you're dying. If you're not evolving, you're just waiting to die, really, when it comes down to it. You could only be at a certain level of happiness for so long, and then you're going to want more. That's just the way we're designed. Plus, we're meant to do big things and to be a contribution. I think that I love that you said that we do God's work, and I really feel like that the work that I do is another way of doing His work, and it's all about supporting people to be happy, to be inspired, to be motivated, to be one with themselves, so they could create whatever they want in their life. Because when we're not, it's really hard. You just get lost. You get lost. So when you know what you are, you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what's important to you. No matter what happens in life, you're gonna stay on course, even without the attachment, and knowing that there's a higher power that's watching over you, right? I mean, that's right. I mean, I know that's part of what gets me through the tough days, and people like you and my friends, and all my friends and family. But I'm like gonna go ahead and check out. I have some comments, and we're already like, time goes by really fast. I could be with Hazel here forever. Yes, we have a few. We're almost done. So I have my co-producer giving me reminders of time. Okay, and so. Let's see.
I think it's you have to go.
Do I gotta go? I gotta go. A ver. Vamos. Hello, Ignacio. Hello, Junior. Hello, Jesse. Jesse said, he started from the bottom. Now we're here. Petra Chavez. Carmen says, Hazel is amazing.
Oh, Carmen.
And so is Carmen. And Annie says, inspirational. It's great to hear stories like this. Brenda says, OCC rocks.
Ortega Counseling Center.
Ortega Counseling Center, yes. And Carmen had showed me more or less your building. You have a really big, beautiful building over there.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
Very beautiful building. And then Carmen says that we're looking fabulous.
Oh, thank you,
Carmen. I comb my hair today. No. Dominique Lopez says, hi everyone. And he's the founder of Cocoa Veteran Foundation. He's a veteran. Making a difference also too. Fernando Soto says Amazon and Microsoft started in a garage too. You rock, sister-in-law.
I have the best brother-in-law.
Yes. All right. Hello, Ishmael. He's a peace officer. Hello, Claudia. Claudia Russell says knowledge is power. My brother Joe in Vegas says 100%. Yes, 100% is possible. 100% of the time. Jonathan Guerrero over there, my nephew too. He's going to be graduating high school soon.
All right,
Jonathan. So I hope you're watching and listening to all of this. It's great information. Brenda Soto, welcome. Claudia Alvarado and Nally Rios. Hello, Nally. Louis Chavez. Annie Martinez Luna says, we have 4 kids, one in UCLA already. Also, I find myself conflicted if I could handle going back to school while running our business as well. But would love to go back to school, you definitely inspire. So Hazel did it. We can all do it. No one says it's easy, but just think of what's on the other side. You know, sometimes we got to go through that. Not sometimes, when we want to go to the other side of the mountain, we got to go through that uncomfortableness. You know, you can call it whatever you want to call it. I'll call it growing pains, you know, challenges, etc. And then it'll be all worthwhile. So consider that, and consider that it's all possible. You know, my brother says 100%, and when he's telling me that is 100% is 100% is possible 100% of the time.
Yeah. You know what? It is an epidemic about people that we don't want to be uncomfortable. Yes. You don't want to do the hard stuff. Well, you're not going to have the great stuff, you know. And it is really, there's a lot of really great stuff on the other side.
I know, and you know what the thing is that, you know, and I've been, you know a little bit about what I've been experiencing in the last year, but and you got to hear more about my story earlier because we were talking, but if it wasn't for the hard stuff, there's so much beauty in the hard stuff. There really is, but it's up to us to choose what filter we want to see the hard stuff from what we want to see the challenges from. We get to choose how we want to see things and experience things and interpret things. So it could be pretty chaotic, and you can still focus on that one thing that's beautiful, that's perfect, that's a blessing, that's, you know, something to be grateful for. So remember that. It's up to you. Hello, Helen Rivera. Hello. Cher Ashley. Hello, Juan San Juan. I wonder if you're cashiering today. He's also a business owner. He has a restaurant in Huntington Park. Gloria's restaurant in Huntington Park. And if you like mariachi, you have great mariachi.
I love mariachi.
And then they have these drinks, you gotta check them out. And then he also has Gloria Ceviche. Great business concept. Ceviche, like it's like set up like Subway, and you could pick everything you want. It's really good. So
I'm hungry already.
I know. It's really good. So you got to check it out. But he's another entrepreneur, great person, and he also has a nonprofit called Sebastian's Heart.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so great people. I tell people I attract amazing people in my life. I really do. But you know, it's who we be, I think, and that's what makes it so, you know, I'm grateful that you're here. One is that your support is priceless. I can't even begin to tell you. But just who you are, you know, your heart, your purpose, how giving you are, how supportive you are, and, you know, just humble. I mean, I see you sending us a picture where you're gonna board a plane that you chartered and stuff like that, and it's, you know, some people forget where they come from, and not you. Like, you know where you're going, but you never forget where you came from, you know? And, you know, you've worked for everything that you got. So it's awesome to see that you are enjoying it, and you're celebrating it, and you're open to inspiring others to do the same.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you something, though. I have a nightly ritual where I thank God. Like, I don't take anything for granted. I thank God that I'm laying my head down in a safe neighborhood. Like, nobody's gonna come and shoot my house now. You know, like, and my car's really fast now, so, you know, I can get away. I'm very present to that. I'm very connected to where I came from, and so my life right now is a miracle, and it has changed because of education. That really was the key to get out of poverty. And higher education, you know, that's it. And then continuing, I mean, I'm never gonna stop learning. You know, now I'm learning about, like, cryptocurrency. Like, where is that going to take my life? You know, like, it's going to be unrecognizable again. You know, because, you know, I learn about it and then I do something. You know, I don't just watch and, you know, be like, oh, I should have invested. You know what I mean? I take chances, even if it's a little bit. I'll do it, and then there's rewards there. You know, you risk something. So I am still learning. I'm learning about how to invest. Today I had a lunch meeting with a friend who does real estate, and he's teaching me how to invest without using any of my money. So, you know, just keep on learning and growing and expanding your life and what else is possible, you know.
And surround yourself with people that are in that space as well, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you definitely need to be with people that have a higher vision. You know, you have who you have in your life, but then add to that, you know, people with higher vision, and definitely make time to, you know, to spend time with them. So I have these things where $1 million lunches. So I invite people that are at that status to have lunch with me. And then I ask a lot of questions. And then, sometimes we end up in partnerships, and sometimes I get really good tips on things to invest in. And sometimes I'm just, I just have knowledge, and I help other people with that knowledge, even if I didn't use it for myself. So yeah, pass it along for sure. You reminded me when you said earlier, like, I share what I learn. I remember growing up and being taught that if you share something, you have less. And so then, I feel like a lot of people hold back what they know because then they feel they'll have less. In reality, you share your knowledge, you have more. Whatever you have, I feel so happy for you, and I have more because of that. Mm-hmm. What kind of a friend would you be? If my kids, would have more, that's great, that's great for me and for them and for my friends and like just the whole community and then like everybody around. Like, that's great that everybody does well. Like, that would be my dream come true. Like, no more poverty. Mm-hmm. Like everybody doing well.
Where everybody in your life is
thriving.
Winning, right?
Yeah, not just in my life. I want everybody. My
mm-hmm.
community, my clients, everybody to do well. And I really think education is one of the biggest ways to do that. Even if it's reading, the seminars that I told you, watching Oprah channel. I do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. And there's different ways, and for everybody the route is different, and for Hazel it was going back to school and getting her associates, her bachelor's, her master's, and it's different for everybody. And I had this conversation with my nephew who's in a junior in high school right now, and he was asking some questions about what I do and things that what he might do himself. And I said, school is not for everybody, but the more educated you are, the better. However, figure out what is it that you really love and find a way to monetize it. Find a way to monetize it. There's always a way, but start looking, start thinking of what is it that really moves me and inspires me, and start looking at that. The hard part is when we don't know, but the only way you're going to find out again is through exploring, even going to school, doing the general ed, because there's a lot of exploring of a lot of different things while you're doing your GE. That's why you don't have to pick a major right off the bat, because you have that opportunity to take all those GEs before you can actually pick a major.
Yeah, and then people don't know what they want to do, and then they just don't do anything.
And the time keeps going. Hey, I know, because I went off and on to school. In fact, I never finished college. People think that I did because of... I didn't. I focused. I never knew what I really, really wanted for a long time. So that was really hard. Even sometimes I find myself in that space again, like, what do I really want? But I know that one thing for sure is I love to motivate and inspire people. And given, my history, my background, everything that I experienced, like, I know where I found myself. And so my vision and purpose is to be able to make sure that nobody ever has to be in that position and stay stuck. I had parents who passed away depressed, and I found myself in that position many years ago. And so for me, it's that, and my education looks different than everyone else's, and I'm not attached, and anything I can do to educate myself. As I was talking to you earlier, saying maybe I'll reconsider that. But everybody's route is different, and the main thing is to keep moving, to take action. To keep moving, take action, keep learning, keep growing. I want to acknowledge a few of you, and it's time for us to wrap up. Like, it's already
Oh no,
it is. But for those of you that just joined us, make sure you watch it from the beginning. Remember to share as well. And Hazel Ortega is the owner of Ortega Counseling Center. And if you or someone has been injured on the job and is seeking support or trying to get out of the challenges that it comes with, you definitely want to connect with her organization, her company. They will support you in getting the resources that you need, the money that you need to get educated, whatever it is that you need. Don't say no to yourself or close the door to yourself before you find out what's on the other side. Open that door, peek in, and ask some questions. You never know how you can alter the course of your life. She created a life for herself where now she charters planes and travels all over the place all the time. She has various businesses, one in which you definitely got to go to, which is her new trendy restaurant in Uptown Whittier called the Nixon chops, and whiskey. So we'll be there on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
She invited me, you heard.
You're all invited.
You're
We'll
all
be there.
invited, so definitely go. Watch my video. Watch this video from the beginning. Watch it again, so if you missed anything, watch all the other interviews that I've had in the past. There's so many different ways to transform your life. There's no cookie cutter way. Everybody's different. Our ambition is different. Our vision for ourselves and the world is different. But do what you love. Do what you love. Do not settle for a default life. You can kind of live a default life while you're creating the one that you want. There's all kinds of vehicles that take us to where we want to go. So, I understand that, but don't settle for a default life.
No.
Whether it's your relationship, your finances, your career, your health, etc. Don't settle for a default life. Life is precious and it's abundant.
And it's a gift that God gave us to have the best life.
Yeah, and we live in a world of opportunities. And so don't take for granted what's available to you. And as long as we're breathing and talking and walking and we could think. And even people that can't talk and walk and all that create amazing things because they are not their stories and they are not their circumstances.
That's right.
Right? As we are not. We weren't.
Yeah.
Exactly. So are any last words or any last message? Well, let me check the comments really quick and then we'll go ahead and say the last words. So let's see.
Maggie.
Hi Maggie. Hi Maggie. Hello, Rosa Fregosa. She's an attorney as well. She's also on the executive board of NLBWA LA. Maggie says, "Go Hazel." Yes, go Hazel. Pamela Valenciano, and real estate agent. She's also the co-author of the book that I authored.
Very nice.
Benjamin Galvan. Let's see, Dominique's still watching. Brenda Soto says, "Love you, Hazel. Thanks for having her." Sandy Lou. Oh, you're welcome. It's a privilege. I'm so grateful. Hector Cardona, Claudia Roscoe. Great interview, ladies. Claudia Alvarado Mora says, "Thank you. Thanks for sharing your story. Always an inspiration."
Thank you, Claudia.
Annie Martinez says, "Thank you, ladies. We'll definitely try your restaurant." Maggie sends us a heart with love. And, I just accidentally changed the screen. Okay. And, oops. Okay. Anyway, I'm back. All right. So, last words. Last message. What you want to give everybody, like a last message, something that you want to leave them with?
I challenge everyone to, live the best life that they can have. And I want to acknowledge you too for what you're doing. That it's really awesome that you're offering this service to people. And one number one tip that has changed my life is get a life coach. I have 2 coaches and that's made all the difference for me as well. And so I know Sandy Lou and I highly recommend her, and she's one of my friends, and you'll all be very lucky to have her as a coach.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So thank you once again for watching. Thank you for your support, all the love that you shared with us today. Remember to share the video if you didn't already. Watch it from the beginning. Again, I'm Sandy Lou Guerrero of Life Trace Coaching, your transformational business and life coach, and you're watching Transform Your Life with Sandy Lou and Friends with my guest Hazel Ortega, owner of Ortega Counseling Center. Thank you once again for watching. Remember that you have the power to choose how you want to live your life from moment to moment. You do have a choice. Good evening, everyone.
Bye. Bye, family.
Bye. Bye. Let's see. Let's turn this off. That's a wrap.